I like to think of journaling in three parts: the past, the present, and the future. All three parts serve their own function. The past is to reflect and learn. The present is to understand. And then the future is to dream/create/guide.
Welcome to the Busy People Getting Fit podcast. I'm your host, Bryan White. And today we have a special guest joining us, Mr. Sam Beaver, the owner of the Well Health and Fitness in Bowling Green, Ohio, to talk about journaling, mindset, and gratitude. Sam is a coach, entrepreneur, and deep thinker who recently shared a powerful insight on LinkedIn. We can't truly call it self-help if all we do is read about it. Real success comes not from reading more, but from taking action on less. So let's get started. Sam, what does mindset mean to you, and how did you actively cultivate a healthy?
Yeah, absolutely. So to me, mindset at its core means how you choose to show up to a certain situation or anything in your life that you're going through right now. And then how to cultivate a healthy one is through consistent action and trial and error. I don't think there's a one-size-fits-all model, right, to cultivating a healthy mindset. If there was, we wouldn't be having this podcast, and the world would be a much different place. So,
okay. So you mentioned taking action, and it's up on the shelf right up there, but I wrote a book, 1 Minute Fitness, that gives 30 actions. One is for journaling, one is for showing gratitude. Another one is on building relationships. For you, what actions have you taken or do you recommend when it comes to building a healthy mindset?
I think having time in your day, even if it's 30 seconds, to kind of just check in with yourself and have that like thought-provoking action of like, what's going on like internally right now? Not necessarily what's going on externally, but you don't even have to write it down. If you want to write it down, all right, we're getting into that journaling piece, but even that quick check-in of like, okay, what's going on? How am I feeling? Why am I feeling like this? Is this feeling serving what I'm doing, right? Okay. Or what I'm about to do? And then my answer to that will kind of guide me from there. So probably one of the more consistent ones I do is I'll take like 30 seconds before I actually walk into the gym. Because right now I'm not necessarily opening the gym and greeting people as they're walking in. I'm walking in the middle of a functional fitness class, and there's a personal training session over here. You know, there's someone taking their shoes up over there. And naturally, like if I don't do that check-in, I'll just walk in, kind of like head down, go straight to my office, right? And go from there because I've got a million thoughts on my mind. But I'll kind of take a couple deep breaths. I'm like, all right, like how am I feeling today? Does this feeling serve what I'm about to do? How am I going to show up to my best self? And that kind of helps me to walk into the gym with a smile, you know, asking how people are going by name, take a quick wave to the people that are suffering in their workout, and then, you know, mosey my way back to the office.
Okay. So you're doing a check-in. Do you do anything proactive to, get your mind? You talked about showing up as your best self. Mm-hmm. Is it just a check-in and you're just seeing where you are, or are you trying to take some proactive action? Yeah.
So I think there's a super helpful exercise called pre-framing. Okay. And we've all probably heard of reframing, right? Reframing is kind of like more so in the moment. Usually something unfortunate happens. And you're like, okay, like how can I reframe this, right? And then pre-framing
when I hear reframing, I think I'm in an argument with my wife or my child.
Yep.
Right? And I've got this certain mindset about what's happening, and I need to reframe it from a different perspective.
Exactly.
Right? Because my current perspective is I am right, everyone else is wrong, and they need to bow down to my wishes.
Correct. And that's usually not the best approach to take.
So what is pre-framing?
Pre-framing is a proactive framing exercise, essentially. So we actually do it with our clients all the time. And it's setting an expectation. So the pre-framing for me would be, okay, what are things that can potentially go wrong, right? If those things potentially go wrong, one, that's normal, right? Things go wrong all the time. What are some action steps I can take to kind of continue to push through? Is this a long-term fix, a short-term fix? And then also, like, what are some things that can go right? And I'm kind of just setting an expectation with, hey, things are going to go wrong. It's fine. Don't freak out about it. And that's how I do it with myself. How we do it with our clients is when they first sign up, we're not going to say, hey, you're going to lose 30 pounds in 30 days. We kind of pre-frame it as you're going to show up on day one. We're going to move through some maybe new exercises you haven't done before, but don't worry, the coach is going to be there to help you through it. You might feel a little uncomfortable during this one, but it's okay. We're going to help you, through that part. So you're kind of creating that expectation in their head that, okay, like this is what they should expect moving forward, instead of like, cool, we'll see you on Monday. And then you just let their brain do whatever they want. And then once you get into that kind of negative, thought process, no matter who you're talking to, it's very hard to then reframe if you haven't pre-framed yet.
Okay. So the pre-active step you're taking is pre-framing the thought process to get off to a good start.
Mm-hmm. Correct. And then also like expecting like the curveballs or the things to go wrong. That way, when it does happen, you're like, hey, like I already thought about this. I knew this was going to be a possibility. You don't have to pump the brakes and, stop doing whatever you're doing.
Yep. Okay. So when we think about mindset and controlling our mindset at least as best as possible, let's say guiding our mindset, where does journaling come in?
Journaling comes in. So I like to think of journaling in three parts. There's the past, the present, and the future. And you can kind of, all three parts serve their own function. The past is to reflect and learn. The present is to understand. And then the future is to dream/create/guide. So I don't purposely really go into each. I kind of naturally do one or the other depending on what I need. So if I am journaling for what's presently going on, it usually means that I'm trying to understand what's happening, right? I have a bunch of thoughts in my head that I can't really make sense of, and I'm spiraling. So I'll just sit down, and this is what I call like the word vomit journal. It's not really prompted. It's just, I need to get everything out of my brain.
Okay.
And then that kind of lets me just settle down, take a breath, and understand things more clearly.
When are you doing this?
Anytime during the day.
Okay.
I've done the like, hey, do it first thing in the morning, no matter what, or do it at night, or do a midday check-in. And I've been doing it for 4 years now, and it's fine. Sometimes the anxiety from knowing I have to do it creates, like, I vividly remember one day I was journaling about being anxious about journaling, and I'm like, what am I doing, dude? This is stupid. So now I mostly just, if I have a moment and I see my journal, I'll sit down, jot something in it. And I'll probably do like once per day. Right.
Okay. When we talked about the word vomit going out, is there, again, are you expressing your current thoughts into the journal, or are you trying to guide some thoughts, or, again, like pre-framing or pre-journaling, trying to take more proactive action, or are you letting it all flow?
Usually I let it all flow, and then I'll touch on, like, I'll start writing about something and I'm like, ooh, I need to dive a little bit deeper into this. And then I'll almost like subconsciously prompt myself, why am I feeling like this? Right. Or how can I express gratitude towards this? Or how can I change this? So it starts with the free flow. Good things, bad things, whatever. I think it's easy to get into the habit of journaling about only like the bad things. Yeah. Right. So definitely making sure that I'm doing the good things as well.
Yeah. In fact, for me, I do not journal about the bad things per se. I do have a little note that on my computer that I'll type out. It's just some things that I just need to get off my chest. But when I write down with a pen on paper, it's a gratitude journal. It is what am I grateful for? Because it's the same as when you're looking at buying a red car. Suddenly you see all the red cars out there. Before you didn't think there were any red cars. And so this is me during doing my gratitude journal. I think it helps me find things in this world to be grateful for. And it could be small things like today, I'm grateful to see snow. And for those of you who don't know me, I live outside of Houston, Texas. We don't get a lot of snow, right? So I'm grateful that I got to see my 8-year-old and my 3-year-old dog go play outside the backyard in the snow and throw, snowballs at each other,
Right.
That's what my gratitude journal is about.
I love that.
How long does it take you when you're journaling? Like, how much time are you taking?
No longer than 10 minutes, I would say.
Okay.
If I'm going longer than 10 minutes journaling, like, there's something wrong and I should probably like go for a walk.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, still for me, 10 minutes would be a long time. I mean, my journaling gratitude takes 30 seconds to a minute.
Gotcha. Yeah. So for the gratitude one, I could see that being a lot shorter. Just when I get into my flow of like word vomit, I cap out. No longer than 10 minutes, right? Because I got a lot of stuff in my brain.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
But it doesn't need to take long.
What advice for someone who's listening to this? They don't do any gratitude work, any mindset. They don't do any journaling. What advice would you give to someone who's interested in getting started?
Go in with zero expectations and don't judge yourself.
Okay. So that's the same as someone who starts at your gym.
No, seriously, it's the same thing. It all aligns. I think it's hard, and this topic has probably been beaten down so hard over the last couple of years of like immediate results, right? That type of thing from everything you see online.
I only need to do 3 days of gratitude journaling.
Right.
My mindset's going to be perfect. I'm going to be a happier, healthier person, and everyone's going to love me.
100%.
That's how this works, right, Sam?
Yep. You know it. And I think that's what happened. Like, you do it for 3 days and you're like, okay, like, I don't feel any different, right? So just tell yourself that you're not going to feel different, and just think about it like taking bad tasting medicine when you're a kid. Like, just do it and shut it and leave and you'll be fine. So, yeah.
Okay. Do you have a special book that you write in?
Yeah, I have a leather bound journal that I'll write in, and then I'll also sometimes type it out just like on a free doc, because I can type faster then I can write. So when I do have like the more word vomity type journals, I'll type it. When I'm doing more so like reflection, gratitude, that type of stuff, I'll usually write it.
Okay. I have found that having a leather bound journal with a particular pen that I like, and I just set it on my desk where I spend, or set on my desk or my nightstand, places where I'm going to see it. And that has helped me a lot.
Yeah, 100% agree.
Cool. When it comes to that pre-framing that you were telling us about earlier, where did you learn that, or are there any tips that we can give people to help pre-frame the mindset?
So where I learned it and kind of adopted it was originally from a wrestling coach that I had in high school.
Okay.
And he had this thing. I don't think it's an original concept. I just heard it from him. He's not that smart of a guy, but if he hears that, he'll laugh at that. It's called the rule of thirds. So essentially, you've probably heard of it.
Yeah.
What it means is, and it's a pre-frame, I would say. It's whenever you're striving for something great, right? You're going to feel one of three ways throughout it. You're going to feel like absolute crap. You're going to feel okay. Then you're going to feel great, like you're on top of the world.
Yeah.
So whenever I'm starting a project or a workout or, whatever it is, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to go through these three moments. And that way, when I am feeling like crap, I'm like, all right, I'm in that part of it. But whereas most people would stop then and, go back to comfort, it's, hey, let's push this through, continue to see it out. We'll get in that okay stage, and then you'll have the feeling great stage.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where that pre-frame originated for me, and where I've kind of learned to adopt it into different aspects of my life.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, high school sports, that's where we learn a lot of this stuff, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately. I wish I was in like elementary school.
Yeah. Well, awesome, Sam. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate hearing your thoughts on journaling, mindset, and gratitude. And you said, what's the temperature there right now?
We were -9 at night. Now we're up to like 3 or 4. Yeah. So Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. I will be staying inside today.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Stay warm. Hope your pipes don't freeze.
Yeah, appreciate it, Brian.
We'll talk to you next time.
All right, see ya.
That wraps up this episode of the Busy People Getting Fit podcast. Big thank you to Sam Beaver for joining us today and sharing such valuable insights on journaling, mindset, and gratitude. If you'd like to connect with Sam or learn more about his work at The Well Health and Fitness, you can find him on all social media platforms, especially Facebook and Instagram. Whether you're looking for guidance on your fitness journey or just want to explore how to take meaningful action in your life, Sam offers a free consultation and he'd love to hear from you. As always, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit from today's conversation. Until next time, keep showing up, keep taking action, and remember, it's not about doing everything perfectly, but about doing the things that matter most consistently. See you next week.